spider can. Spins a web any size. Catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man.
Hello, world. What's up, everybody? This is Dave with the Fight Bananas podcast. How's everyone doing out there? Oh, man, we're so happy to have him back on the show. Been on the show 2-3 times. We're talking about Chase Hooper. Have you ever seen Chase Hooper and Spider-Man in the same place? Hey, I'm just spitting out facts. We talked about this last summer. It was really cool that the UFC picked that up. I saw it on their Twitter page all weekend. Man, can't wait. So happy for Chase Hooper. He made his debut for the UFC at UFC 245 and picked up a first-round TKO. That's what I'm talking about. Chase Hooper, UFC debut victory. So much to talk to Chase about, and we're going to get into it. We're not going to waste any more of his time, your time, or yours. Let's talk to Chase Hooper. All right, guys, on the Fight Bananas hotline, my main man, Chase, the Dream Hooper. How you doing, brother?
Good. Just kind of chilling at home, recovering, eating whatever I want for a little bit, and then getting back to it.
Oh, that's awesome. To be 20 years old, to eat whatever you want. That's the good old days.
Yeah, that high metabolism.
Right.
Nice.
That's awesome. Man, totally off pace. I just kind of hit me when you said that. I always hear about the post-fight kind of depression, the blues, right? Usually on a loss, but sometimes some of the guys and the girls, they tell me even on a win, there's nothing like... I saw the weigh-in picture of yourself, huge packed crowd, one of the biggest, most epic shows of the year. You're a part of it. You get the win. There's the highest high. You're talking to Joe Rogan. Everyone's talking about Chase Hooper. Now it's just it's a Wednesday, another normal day. Is that a real thing, Chase?
I don't know. I haven't felt too bad.
Okay.
I feel like all the pressure kind of gets let off for me after the fights. So that's always nice. It's like, it kind of goes back to normal, and then everything kind of slows back down. That's kind of the way I like it. I like my routines, and I've never really been depressed after fights, but there's a little bit of time where it's like I feel bad about eating as much as I do because I only worked out for like 3 or 4 minutes.
Right.
But yeah, I get past that.
Very cool, man. Dude, like I said, we've had you on a couple of times, and, we're not going to go through the whole Contender Series, all the UFC Fight Pass, Titan FC Island fights. Now, this is awesome. I really want you to talk about the weekend, UFC 245. I would love for you to talk about the Quintet Ultra. I saw you were there. Our buddy, Dean Toole, was a main component of that show. Just the whole weekend, weigh-ins, more media to be in the UFC. If you can put a bow on the whole weekend of UFC 245.
Pretty much my week started like Tuesday for the fight.
Right.
And that's kind of when we flew to Vegas. We got checked in, we got all the Reebok stuff, and then Wednesday, I think we did all the photo shoot stuff. That was cool. It was just kind of, they lead you around. They keep everything on the same floor because they kind of don't trust the fighters to be able to get around. And then
Chase, did they put that makeup on you, like that blow makeup?
A little bit. They
Right.
airbrushed me a little bit.
Yeah, the airbrush. That's crazy stuff. Yeah. I need that. I around town, I'm living here in Daytona Beach, and if I just want to go to Target, I'm like, airbrush me up. I need it.
Yeah, for sure. I was kind of disappointed they didn't cover me in baby oil, so I'd look nicer for the photos. But that, I got past that as well. They do your hair and stuff too. It's a good time.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and then I think Wednesday was most of the media stuff. Just kind of, they have you sit around in a room with all these guys, and it's just wild because they all rotate around, and it's pretty busy for the whole hour or two that they have it going on.
Right. It was crazy. Man, Fight Bananas, we were going to be in the building for that whole weekend, Quintet Ultra, and that. It was hard to get out there, though. I couldn't travel. Wife is pregnant with twin girls on the way, so they can be here any day now, so I couldn't make that West Coast trip. So the next time,
Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe skip the event for that one.
Yeah, that's there's some things I can pick and choose my battles. That one I easily with kind smiles lose,
Yeah, for sure.
So okay, that's Wednesday. Thursday's Quintet Ultra. Did you know a lot about it going into it? Did you just pop in that night? Take me through that.
Yeah, so I've been planning on going to Quintet pretty much since I found out about it, or at least since I found out that it was in Vegas at the same hotel that we're staying.
Right.
The only downside is that I'd actually started cutting weight before the event because the weigh-ins the next day were at 9 a.m.
Sure.
So I was a little out of it, but I had a good time.
This is, if we can harp on that for a second. For one, that's, am I not right? That's right up your alley. You and Quintet. You're unbelievable on the ground. Can submit anyone your weight class at any moment. I would really love, the UFC doesn't do anything half-assed. They just don't. They go all in. I would love 2020, 2021. They can kind of create. What do you think about them creating like a grappling league? And it's mostly just for the UFC fighters, maybe a couple, people that are not in the UFC. One off the top of my head is Danielle Kelly. Just amazing. 17 second, just a freaking superstar. Yeah. But like guys like you and girls like you, right, that are in the UFC, and you just kind of want to keep yourself busy, want to keep the competitive juices going. And if your fight, just say I'm throwing it out there, is going to be in May, and Quintet puts up a show March or, February around Valentine's Day, would you like to be a part of something of that?
Yeah, for sure. I think that'd be cool. I always kind of wanted to do some of the more like grappling shows like that. Fight Pass was actually trying to see if they could get me on the Quintet before my fight was scheduled, because obviously that's a bit of a conflicting schedule. But yeah, I'd love to do a grappling show like that. That'd be cool. Very
cool. Okay, so then the weigh-ins, the weigh-ins went well. There was a weird thing, take me through it. He kind of wanted you to look into his eyes, something of that nature. I don't know if it was, bad blood, or was it just, he was just trying to make a point. Just take me through the weigh-ins.
I think it's kind of what his, he had a similar strategy at the little face-offs on, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. We were just trying to get a little squirrely and try to, scare me a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I just kind of.
You look past
some guys. Some guys are into weird stuff like that.
Right. When I watched it, Chase, it was so funny to me. Like, you kind of looked over him, and then he was really amped about you looking at him. So when you did, it was just like. What I saw was you're like, okay, I'm ready now. It was so weird. It was this little 2-second thing. You're like, okay, you want me to look at you? I will. It was just, it was pretty epic, bro.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think it was, I take more of the Boss Rutan approach to face-off stuff. Cause I guess he never really looked at his opponents in the eyes. So that's not really my thing. I don't know. I don't really see the point in it. So I kind of just don't. And, when he told me to look in his eyes, just kind of looked at the bridge of his nose and kind of kept that little victory for me.
There you go. So you won multiple times versus Daniel all week. So let's get into it. On the prelims, I don't know how many times you watched it back or watched the whole show. You were definitely the featured, people were talking about you all weekend long. A lot to do with your debut, a lot to do with your age, a lot to do with just straight up your talent level at this age is just incredible. People were definitely amped and ready for your fight. Boom, it comes off. Take me through it. Were you extremely satisfied with your win and how everything went? You weren't in the best in places really quick in that fight, but just what you did to get out of it just shows who you are as a fighter and a person. Dude, it was awesome. It was such a great performance by you, I thought.
Thank you. Yeah, so it kind of all starts with the warm-up. They keep things going, running pretty quick, which I really definitely liked. I'm used to sitting at fight shows for hours, until I get to fight. But here it was probably got to the venue at 1. They wrapped my hands at 2, started warming up at 3, then fought at 4. So it's pretty quick, just back to back to back. And I really like that. For the warm up, I pretty much just had my coach, and he let me beat him up for an hour. More situational stuff.
Man, best friends forever.
Yeah. I feel that's a good warm up for me, rather than just hitting pads or something, is hitting somebody and grappling with something that's moving back.
Right.
And Yeah, when I walked out, I was like, I couldn't stop smiling. I was just kind of excited for it. And when I got in there, everything just kind of seemed a lot smaller than I thought it would, which was nice because I, had it built up so much. But here I am, like standing like 6 inches taller than the cage. I'm like looking over it and stuff. And yeah, so the fight started, and I was thinking like, hey, I probably want to force the grappling a little more. So that's kind of what I did. He went for like that, more of an anaconda. And, he definitely tried to rip my head off. My neck's a little sore, but I kind of fought my way out of there. Spider monkeyed up the cage. And then I got out. I think there was like one moment after where it looks like he caught me with a good shot. Because people kept saying like, oh, he got you with a couple of good shots. But I think he only got me with the one at the beginning. I watched it back, and there was like a second one right before I took him down, where it definitely looks like I got hit, but I think he just hit like my shoulder or something.
Right.
And then, so we started kind of scrambling a little bit. I took his back. I went for that choke, and he, props to him, he kind of like stuck it out. Then he kind of slipped off to the side. I felt like I was losing it. So I went to the mount, kind of scrambled around from there, and then I ended up getting a mounted triangle and just kind of hitting him until they stopped it.
Right, ground and pound, round one. Daniel has to see the movies. The anaconda never wins. Spider-Man always defeats the villain, like always. He's got to know about this, So fight's over. Get the win. You talk to Joe Rogan. All the pictures afterwards. Take me through that 5 minutes. That your dream is to be in the UFC, to get a victory. You feel that it was definitely a loud Venus Williams scream from you. What's that feeling, that jubilation of, I just did what my goal in life was? What was that next 5-10 minutes?
Yeah, it's crazy because having known that I was going to fight in the UFC for the past 6 months, since I fought in Titan, I built it up so much, and it's been such a huge pressure to kind of prove that I belong in the UFC. So then, to get a first round finish against a tough guy, kind of, validated me, at least to myself, that I, belonged there. And I was happy, I went back to the medical stuff. I got cleared, got no suspension or anything. And then, they lead you around a little bit of a media circus type of deal after you take some pictures. They make you answer a ton of questions. It's pretty weird because there was 30 microphones and surrounded by cameras. And it was kind of off-putting at first, but then I kind of got into my flow and figured it out.
Right. I always felt what microphone do you talk into? If there's 30, is there when 5 people take a picture at you at once, and it's okay, what camera do I look at? Which one? Which iPhone do I look at? It's pretty crazy.
It felt like there was not a lot of organization. People were just kind of
oh, really?
Each other. Yeah.
Huh.
Or they weren't quite sure who was going to ask what.
Right. Almost more like a scrum, just very loose and whatever kind of flows. Okay, let's get into probably the 2 coolest, funniest things from the weekend past it. First is the whole Spider-Man. I think it was so funny, too, and I don't know if you remember this, Chase. I even put out a post. I think you and I, we talked last, it was in July, and it was just one of those banana questions at the end. It was something about, who would play you in a movie, and you mentioned Spider-Man, and, we just kind of ran with it for a couple of days on, all of our social media platforms, and boom. So, of course, right away, I see UFC, ESPN, they put up a thing about, dude, they've never seen you and Peter Parker together. I'm like, come on, UFC, come on. Give us some love here. So for one, all the Spider-Man memes, that's one. And then 2, absolutely, of course, the whole Ben Askren. This thing has taken over mixed martial arts, social media for the month of December. The whole dad jokes, the hair, all those memes of the pictures of you swinging. So I would love for you just to laugh with it or talk about it. The Spider-Mans and then Ben Askren.
Yeah, so the Spider-Man stuff I've been getting for a while. I remember you guys saying it a while ago. And Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. I looked up the guy that plays him right now, and I can see a little bit of similarities. He just needs more of a fro to kind of fit with me. But no, it was cool with the Ben Askren stuff. I actually found out about it at the like the little media scrum deal. They kind of told me about it, and then I checked after, and it was super cool. I tweeted back at Ben Askren, and then he kind of he thought it was pretty funny. So yeah, I'm happy to kind of take part in that bit of the meme there.
Right. It's just awesome. It's it's something that will definitely live on, and it's just good. You're in the 2020. We're about to go into it. It's so much about social media and brands and just kind of keeping your name out there. And of course, it is what it is. So if the UFC has someone else's name and your name ready to set up a fight for March, and they're like, holy crap, we got to get Chase out there. Like he's everywhere. He's on all these shows. Everyone's talking about him. He's on the memes everywhere. Like they're going to pick your name over the next guy. That's just life. That's just what it is,
Yeah, definitely. It's entertainment at the end of the day. You got to be entertaining. And sure. I'm not, like being the tough guy isn't my thing. So I guess being funny is.
I love that. I love it. Oh, man. Okay. So now the week is over, kind of like where we started from. Is it something now, talking to your girlfriend about it or talking to Jeff about it or your family? Is it like, holy crap, guys, we just did it. Like we just went through the week. We did the weigh-ins. We did the media. We did the fight. We got to win. Like what an end, what a cap of 2019. All the way started from the Contender Series to CFFC to Island Fights to Titan FC. You're here. You're a legitimate UFC fighter, 20 years old, the dream. Or have you kind of reveled in that, or are you still in the hamster wheel, or you're just still going and going, and you're, you want to train, you want to get back in it, you want to get another win, and I understand that side of it too. But just to have you kind of sat down and like, holy crap, guys, we did it.
I think it's a little bit of both. I was glad that I was able to get, to get the win, and then to kind of do it for everybody at the gym, all the people that helped me out, all my coaches and stuff. Because it's a big weight on everybody else too, like all these guys that let me beat them up and stuff so that I can get ready for this fight. And it's kind of, it's validating for everybody because we're a tough team up here in Washington, probably one of the top teams in the state. So it's kind of cool to be able to make it to the next level and, kind of start a career off like that. But yeah, I definitely have a little bit of both where I want to get back in the gym and I want to just start, grinding again. I've taken a couple of days off. My coach wanted me to, not get too burnt out. So I'm trying to enjoy the holidays a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm having a great time with it. I was glad that I was able to get past the UFC jitters, I guess that they call it.
Sure.
And yeah, it was a great time.
Man, it's just absolutely crazy. It's awesome. We're talking here, guys, with Chase Hooper. Check him out on the IG, CHOOP556, CHOOP556. A couple more questions, man. We appreciate your time, always having you on, Chase. 2020, brother. We're right here, right around the corner. I would love your, just your outlook on 2020 goals. Is there an opponent or two you would kind of like to get to? Is there any kind of ranking that you would love to get to? Or is it, no, I'm one fight at a time and, the next one's the most important and we'll take it like that?
I'd say I kind of still want to find my footing in the UFC. I wouldn't mind taking a couple guys they're getting ready to cut and kind of, giving them the final blow. I'm trying to kind of work my way up the rankings. I don't want to jump up there and take any fights that I am not quite ready for. Cause all these guys for the most part have more UFC experience than I do.
Right.
Being that I'm one of the newer guys in the division, I kind of want to take it slow, get my bearings, figure everything out. And, if I could stay busy next year, I'd like to get, maybe 3 or 4 fights, kind of see how that goes and then go from there.
Very cool. And then on the same night, UFC 245, which was a hell of a show. It was cool. I saw it on, I think it was your Instagram or Twitter that you were just back there watching the show. 3 great fights. Amanda Nunes defending her crown. The main event was just incredible. I thought one of the most underrated fights in a long time. I thought Usman was just, big-time star after that night. But, of course, something I would think close to you, it's in the featherweight championship. Max Holloway losing, and Alexander the Great, Volkanovski, is now the champion. Did you watch that fight with a little bit more on it? Is Alexander now who you're looking at? It's so funny. I talk to so many of the fighters, right, and they always talk about any weight class they're in. They always are glaring. They're always studying the champion. And in the featherweight, it's been Max Holloway's, weight class for years and years and years, your whole, literally, your teenage life, right? But now there's a new crown. What do you think about Alexander? What do you think about Max and that fight?
I got to see both of the guys around like the whole week. Volkanovski was shorter than I thought he would be, a little smaller, at least, closer to the weigh-ins. But all these guys just get massive after. Max Holloway was super cool to me. He was like talking because he's, he also got into UFC at like 20 and kind of understands that bit of it. I feel like he was super cool to me. But yeah, they're both definitely world-class fighters, and I'm kind of trying to take my time because they have so much more UFC experience than I do. I want to take my time before I really like consider the possibility of me fighting them. And I think that it's like important to keep an eye on them for sure. But, there's no reason I can't be friendly with them outside of that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And what's your take? Do you think Max Holloway gets an immediate rematch?
I mean, the question I would have is, like, who else would be able to fight for the title?
Right. Oh,
maybe Zabit.
Yeah, there's a lot of new blood. You think Zabit, you got Yair up there. There seems like there's a couple, guys, and then here you go. Leads me right into the next question. Last probably question. This weekend, I just love this fight. If you're a mixed martial arts fan, there's just no reason you're not watching it. Saturday, South Korea, the Korean Zombie versus Frankie Egner. I was hoping it was going to be Ortega. I love that fight as well. But, hey, stuff happens. It's just part of the game. It's part of the fight game. But there's just something about the new school, old school element. I love this fight, and I love how Frankie is always, always so game. And you know what the Korean Zombie does? His nickname kind of speaks for itself. Yeah. So what do you think of this fight? And, one of these guys get a crazy knockout, especially Korean Zombie in his hometown, South Korea. A lot of buzz can go behind him. I would love to see just the kind of the featherweight division, and I love Max. Max is one of my all-time favorites. It would just be cool to kind of see new blood up there. Give Max, someone who's the 8th or 10th or 12th ranked, get him a fight, and maybe put Alexander versus the Beat or Alexander maybe versus the Korean Zombie.
Yeah, that'd be a great fight. Both of those would be. Because that's the thing with all these guys at the top right now is that they're more striking oriented and they're more they go for it. They definitely go all in. I think Korean Zombie Frankie Edgar is going to be a great fight. I kind of wanted to see Ortega in there, for more of the jiu-jitsu aspect. But he's also got good striking. But yeah, I think that'd be a fun fight. Kind of keeps things fresh. If Max Holloway's just beating everybody up, then it's a little more stagnant than if you have it shifting around a little bit.
Right. And I was just looking here at the featherweight rankings. It's insane. It really is. Like, so many talk. I love the welterweight division right now. It's probably the hottest. Georgie Masvidal was the fighter of the year. Looks like kind of like Conor and the Diaz boys are in there. Of course, you got Usman as the champ. You got Leon Edwards. You just have a stacked division. And I'm looking through this. I am looking at Cub Swanson and Frankie and some legends. Josh Emmett's been around for a while. Then there's so many young guys. Arnold Allen. I like him a lot. He's a stud. Yair, Korean Zombie, Zabit. You got Brian Ortega. You got Alexander now. It is a stacked division, Chase. Stacked.
No, for sure. 45, 55, 75, or 70 and 85 are like the most stacked divisions kind of in the world.
Yeah.
And it's kind of it's rough that I'm not a heavier weight class because then that'd make things a lot easier.
We'll get you as a heavyweight title. You versus Stipe, UFC 300. I see it happening,
Yeah.
Oh, man. Chase, dude, always welcome on the show. We love having you. We were so pumped and excited for you. Debut fight, UFC 245, first round TKO, ground and pound. Just, man, enjoy the holidays. Enjoy the end of 2019. It was a banner year for you. We are so excited for you for 2020, and just continue success. We'll talk soon, my man.
Hey, thank you. I really appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely, brother. We'll talk to you.
All right, later.
All right, guys, that was Chase Hooper. Man, love having him on the show. 20 years old, the dream. I love it. I love it. I love it. Chase Hooper, check him out on the IG, guys. CHOOP556, putting out great content. Wish him the best. Wish him happy holidays 2019, rolling into 2020. And if you need any last-minute things for the holidays, let me throw out a couple of sponsors that you can check them out on their websites or Amazon or just, guys, it's 2020. You know where to go. Come on. I don't need to say this anymore. Follow them on Instagram, Twitter, whatever you got to go. First and foremost, N Still Nutrition. I've been on them a lot lately. It's just at the end of the year, a lot is going on. I said in the show, wife is twins. We got a lot of moving parts at the house. I need it. I'm taking my Instill Nutrition. I'm taking, the Joint Jujitsu that really just helps with my body. There's post-workout shakes. There's just all tons of stuff. Check them out on nstillnutrition.com. Also, if you need to buy something for your significant other, if any females listening to this, you want to buy it for your your boyfriend or your fiance or husband or your boyfriend's best friend, I don't know, whatever you want, check out warhammerfightwear.com. They got some of the best gear in mixed martial arts. I love the tees. I wear them daily. I love the tees. It's like a stretchy, workout shirt fit, but it also looks good. So I can roll to the Olive Garden and have a good dinner. You know what I mean? We all been there, right? So check them out, warhammerfightwear.com. You can buy their stuff on Amazon. So just put in that Warhammer Fightwear. Talking about your body feeling good, also Fusion CBD products. Head to their website right now. You ready? FusionCBDproducts.com. That easy. Everything right now. You ready for this one? 50% off everything. Go get it, guys. Come on. I'm talking about the CBD Instant Relief Rub. I'm talking about the drops. I'm talking about the whole vape kit. Whatever you want. 50% off. There's not a better deal in the CBD world right now, which is the number one hottest trend. You got to get it. If you haven't got it yet, you got to go get it. Go get it. All right? Last but certainly not least, big friends to the show. I'm talking about Mako Tech mouth guards. They're helping so many of the fighters. And if you're cool and you're helping the fighters, you're helping out Fight Bananas. And then that means your family. So it is what it is. Check them out on the IG, Mako Tech _mouth guards. That's MAKOTEK _mouth guards. They're giving mouth guards to Taylor, the next big thing, White, Brock Weaver, SD Dumas, a ton of stuff. I think they are. They're in the Panhandle. They're up there in Alabama, and they're going to be in the building for Island Fight 61 that's happening this Saturday in Pensacola. There you go. There's my plug. You can now deposit the check. Thank you. Guys, that was it. Chase Hooper on the Fight Bananas podcast. Once again, we're so happy for him. 1-0 in the UFC. That's how you want to start. Undefeated, 9-0, Chase Hooper, 20 years young, featherweight. Watch out. Guys, thank you so much. Make sure you, all of us. I'm at David Van Auken. Definitely, give me some love on the IG, Twitter, all that good stuff. Fight Bananas Official on the Instagram. Like our Facebook page. Subscribe to the Fight Bananas YouTube page. That's awesome. Oh, one last thing. There you go. I put it on the Instagram yesterday. We had a meeting with iHeartRadio. And when they called me up for this meeting, I was like, that's kind of weird. Why would they want to talk to, here at Fight Bananas? And they go, you're one of the hottest, or like the subscribers, the numbers, the analytics. We're one of the biggest jumps in like the last quarter. I was like, wow, that's awesome. They're like, yeah, this is a good meeting. They're like, we want more content out of you. They want 2020 to be better than 2019. So we might just do some exclusive stuff with iHeartRadio, or I'm just going to put out a ton more content and give the whole world what it is, because that's who I am. That's what I do. I want YouTube subscribers. I want Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I want it all. But no, big ups to iHeartRadio. It's really cool. It's just it's good to hear positive reinforcement. It's good to hear that they're like, no, your numbers are flying up. And I'm like, God, still blown away, man. Just to, hey, we're here just talking shop, talking MMA. And, man, we appreciate every subscriber, every download, every someone that listens and tells a friend, tell their gym, hey, if you're listening to it, tell your teammates about it. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys. Chase Hooper, thank you so much. Give him a follow on the IG, CHOOP56. This is Fight Bananas. Guys, continue success. Have a great night.